Did you bring notes?
No.
What is that?
Actually, it's my journal, dude.
Nice. You're bringing it with you?
Yeah, I bring it everywhere with me. I a lot of the times I don't. By the way, it's going. So, I guess this is the prequel in the podcast.
Yeah.
But I bought this like I think a week ago or something. But I've never really been good at journaling. So I was thinking when I was reading the Atomic Habits, they were talking about making desired habits as attractive and convenient as possible. So I figured, why not carry...
Put it in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly, a very small one. So I went on Amazon and looked for a small journal that I could get, and then one of these colored pens, which I actually just got a couple days ago.
It makes it like fun, and you can just whatever.
Yeah, man.
Code it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Because
so are you putting like is that like a to-do list? Is that like a daily thought thing?
it's honestly whatever I want it to be.
Okay.
Which, it's cool. So, a couple days ago, I was feeling very disorganized, so I ended up making a task list.
Okay.
But, out of all of the entries, that's been my first task list and the last one that I've done so far. And then, like, yesterday's was habit stacking. So I was rereading Atomic Habits, and he was talking about habit stacking. So I was like, oh, yeah, let me, try to get this idea in my life. Or, reuse this idea in my life because I forgot about it.
And it's been a minute since I read that book. But so, habit stacking, correct me if I'm wrong, is like you kind of build your habits around each other.
Exactly. So, something that you already do that is a habit. Like for me, as soon as I wake up, a habit is to get up, go take a shit, and, do my hygiene.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so on top of that, what I do, I get up, go take a doo-doo, and then I do my hygiene. But then right after that, what I added was, and I actually had this before, but I had to reintroduce it because I forgot. After I finish that stuff, I'll get there, fold up my blanket, put it in the closet along with my pillows, and then put my bed up, which just helps me not lay down, at all throughout the day.
Yeah.
So.
Because you like push it up just to have more room in your space and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Because I have a small room, so I actually take it out of my room and just put it in the hallway.
Oh, damn.
But it's cool. I don't know if it's because that I've lost so much weight. I don't take naps anymore.
Yeah.
Which is...
For sure.
It's a weight off my shoulders.
Well, I'm sure your sleep quality has, like, tripled.
Especially...
Yeah, I was going to say, man. You just think about, like... I wish you had a measurement of your neck before and your neck now. Because not that you don't... I mean, you still got a big-ass neck. But, like, I mean, dude, when you were, whatever, 350, 360, like... I don't think I could have, like, wrapped my arm around your... You know what I mean? I couldn't have choked you out if I wanted to.
I don't know if I told you this, but I would have to... Like, in the beginning of my weight gaining, and actually all the way up to the end, at the beginning of this year, not to that extent, though, I would have to sleep sitting up. Yeah, and so at the beginning of this year, I had to sleep with 4 pillows.
You should. Go ahead.
It's just horrible. Like, when I wouldn't do it, I would wake up, like 4 minutes after trying to sleep, just 4 minutes, and realize that I'm not breathing, and I'd be just gasping for air.
Oh, yeah.
But it was normal.
Well, it's almost like it's probably your body was trying to use your nasal passage to breathe, and then there's just too much fucking tissue around there to actually make it happen.
And then you can't breathe through your mouth.
Yeah,
because your throat is just.
You should edit in that picture right there of when you know what I'm talking about when you were like 350 and I was like 145.
Yeah, dude.
So when you were prepping for that meet, that was your heaviest, right?
Yeah, I think I was around 400 pounds then, dude.
Fuck. I didn't even realize you were that big.
400
But I remember we did the measurement, and it was like your leg was either 6 or 8 inches bigger than my waist.
I think so. I don't know if I exactly remember that, but I believe it, dude.
Well, because I think it was something like my waist was 27 inches, and then your leg was like 36 or 35 or something.
That makes
like
sense,
that.
honestly.
Yeah. I know for a fact your leg was each leg was at least 30 inches. No doubt.
At that time, I would do measurements of my arm, and my arm was 28 inches. My arm was 28 inches.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, a lot of it was fat.
What do you think your blood pressure was?
Dude, this is going to sound crazy. Every doctor appointment that I've gone to, even like at 400 pounds, up to right now, my blood pressure has always been normal.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's weird.
So, okay, and then here's another weird question. Like, your family history, like, do they have a, like, what's, like your family's, like, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like, their medical history. Like, when do they usually die? Like, what things are causing their deaths? Like, do you have family that's living to, like, 100 pretty regularly, or what?
No. Well,
because I didn't know if it was maybe just, like, a genetic thing, like...
Yeah, so my dad's side of the family, I have zero contact with. And then, actually, my Nana's side of the family...
which is your mom's side?
Yeah. My mom's side of the family. I have... Like, I know them up to just my mom's mom, so my grandma.
So you don't even know, like, extended?
No.
Dude, you should do a 23andMe. I just did mine. I'm supposed to get the results.
I remember you telling me that, man.
Yeah, but where I was going with that is it's like, dude, genetically, like, it's obvious you're an athlete, right? So I wonder if, like, there's some sort of, what's the right word I'm looking for? It's almost like, because I wonder if your ability to perform athletic endeavors genetically equates to, like, your health and longevity as well.
I think there has to be, first of all, again, in my family, I know of zero athletes.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was like, I think, a foot shorter than me.
Whoa.
And just really small. Yeah.
Really?
And my mom, she's also like a foot shorter than me, and she's also really small. And as you know, well, you didn't meet me when I was small, but I was really small. My normal walking. How much do you weigh?
I was $160.2 this morning.
That's how much. That was my regular body weight.
Yeah.
At
you got to be sure you're editing, like,
old.
pictures in here too.
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
like,
that's
really,
true.
Like,
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
Well, just to really show the contrast, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've seen that video of you flexing in the mirror when you were whatever, like 16 or
with
17.
my friend Aiden. Oh my. Yeah.
Well, dude, and you're like $160 or whatever there, and you're like.
Shredded,
dude, your
bro.
traps are like to your ears, and I'm like, God, I'm 23 now, and I don't even look like that. But like, it's just interesting, like the extremes it can go. And I had my own like fair share of weight fluctuations. Don't get me wrong, but when I was 200 pounds, man, I was just fat as shit. But in my mind,
was that when like I first met you?
No.
Remember.
When I was 200 pounds, that was when I was a junior in high school, and so I had been.
And I met you senior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had been bodybuilding for like a couple of years, but I had just got the advice of like just eat everything to grow muscle. And dude, I was a fat kid growing up, man. So like, to make a long story short, man, my whole journey, like my weight has always just been up and down and up and down. Never as extreme anymore, obviously, but you know, when I was,
which is so much better.
Oh yeah, when I was 200 pounds though, man, like I was 35% body fat probably. Like,
see, I
it was
can't
not
even.
a good look.
I don't even know. Like, I don't have any context when it comes to that body fat percentage. That makes me think of, you know, when I was like 400 pounds, what my body fat percentage was.
I don't know, dude, and it's hard to tell because like you're just like slabs of beef. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As far as like, you got a lot of muscle, but you for sure had the powerlifting belly.
You know what I noticed, and it really sucked, and I think it also pushed me to, you know, lose the weight. When I was like up to 20 years old, I was huge.
When did you start lifting? 14, something like that.
I was a wrestler, which included lifting.
Sure.
Up until I was 17, and then that's when I moved to Prosper when I was 18.
Okay.
And then that's when I started powerlifting.
Okay, sorry, keep going. I was just trying to get a time frame going.
No,
so
you're
20.
good. But what I was saying was that when I was like up to when I was like 20 years old, yeah, I did have a lot of fat on me, but a lot of it was muscle, and that was also just because of how my training was. But what I noticed was the next 2 years, up to, you know, this past February, I haven't been able to train at that intensity and stuff. So I actually noticed that the muscles started turning into fat, and I started having like
you were atrophying and your body
exactly,
composition was
dude.
going to shit.
Yeah, dude. And I was just like, fuck, you know, it sucked to see that happen in real time.
Oh yeah.
You know, over the months.
Yeah.
But glad that I'm 255 right now.
Yeah.
255.
Which is crazy because that's still such a big ass number.
I know.
You know, like if I ever see, if I ever see 200 on the scale again, either
I can't imagine.
I was gonna say either I started juicing and had been juicing for a while, or like I was gonna say that'd be pretty sad. Well, yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm on, and I joke, but it's just because I'm hyper realistic. But man, I'm on this little like fairy boy 5'6" bone frame, you know. So like, man, anytime even when I'm 160 now, like I start to feel like I'm getting a little like thicker than I should be, you know. I don't mean that in like of course you can't be too muscular. Well, I don't think you can be too muscular, but like I feel like I start getting a little chunky, you know.
I got you.
But man, when quarantine happened and I was in prep, same thing, dude. I think I was down to like $152 or $151, and that composition was just like changing left and right, and it sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Was that because of stress?
Yeah. I think just stress and the gym closed down and everything like that. Yeah.
Come on.
Can I let them out or no?
Yeah, you can let them out.
Are you sure?
Hopefully they don't take out. Hold up. Yeah, go ahead.
Go,
Come on.
go.
Woody was throwing the ball with Chris.
Oh, yay! That's
What's up,
literally, that's the quickest way to be his best
To
friend.
his heart. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I know. I'm good. I was just working. I was talking to my grandma. I told her I'd send her a picture of my backyard because
Oh,
it looks like this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just asking, or I was just asking him, did this happen like this past week?
It got bad this past week.
Yeah.
Can I rotate it and show?
Yeah,
I don't
go
want to mess
ahead,
up.
dude.
I don't want to mess up. However you framed it.
It
good.
started very
Okay,
slow.
so it's right here right now, and I'll be sure it goes back to that same spot. But we got leaves everywhere.
Because when I was driving last night, I thought that I was tripping, but I take the back roads, and I saw like
Gotta
a
get
bunch
those
of things
trees.
falling from the sky.
It was
What the
leaves.
heck? At first, I thought it was like bugs and stuff. I rolled up all my
It
windows. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But I looked closer, and it was just leaves.
That's funny. Yeah, when I was sitting out here with Cora the other morning, man, and I was just drinking some coffee, reading, and she was just laying under the tree, just watching the leaves fall. It was
Can you hold her like that
That's
again,
it was
please?
meditative, man.
I bet, dude. That's actually kind of why I wanted to rake.
Oh, you want to rake?
I feel like it would be pretty chill.
We got one in the garage, man. Go for it. It's like
Cora.
like chopping wood or any other, you know. Don't fight. She's like, what? What you want, fool?
Hi, Morty.
All right, baby. You want to put them back inside?
Yeah.
Appreciate
What's up,
it.
Morty?
Go on.
What's up, Morty?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Go on, get.
I'm just
You so cute.
procrastinating.
Oh,
Why, you got to go back to work?
I do. Well, I have like, so I just got a promotion, and I'm very new
that's
to
right.
this
Yeah,
promotion, and I don't know what I'm doing. And at 11 o'clock, we have a standing meeting every day, and I guess my team lead, he answers any questions that I have, and I've got 3 files that I need to look at and work on conditions for our underwriters. And it's like, I don't know, like, I need his help, and I
Yeah.
have a million questions. And it's like, I can't really do anything until
Oh.
So, I mean, I've already, like, cleared, like, the things that I know how to do, and I've made my notes. It's like, I literally can't do anything until that meeting that we have at 11, because I'm like, well, because I don't know what I'm doing.
So now you just get to think.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, let me, like, so really I've just been looking at my notes, really just staring at what it's asking me to do, and I'm like, okay, what are the different ways I can interpret this?
Yeah.
Do I know how to do this? So I've just been making notes, so it's like, so that's why in the mornings I'm just like,
Just chilling like
Yeah.
a villain. Yeah. That's how you do it.
all right. We let them inform you.
okay, I think I'm being dismissed. Okay. Come on, guys.
Go on.
Come
Go
on.
inside.
He's like, hell no, I'm not leaving.
Go inside.
Come on.
Laura, go inside. Go on, big girl.
Come on, baby.
She's coming. Go on, big girl.
Very
Like, you're
slow.
lucky.
Laura,
Hey,
go inside.
come on.
Like, make me.
Go.
Come on, baby.
Go. Good girl.
Baby,
Yeah.
can I just leave her out here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
She's fine. Okay.
Oh, you're so cute.
You can crop that, right?
Huh?
You can crop that.
Yeah, unless you want to keep it in.
No, it's up to you, man.
All right, man. Did you want to go over the Monday email now?
Yeah, let's do it.
I forgot what we were talking about
Yeah, me too. Do you want, so you want me to read it? You want me to skim it? How do you want to
before.
do this?
Let's read it. I read it earlier this week, but just for refreshment,
And
for
it
my
takes
sake also.
probably 45 seconds to read anyways.
Yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I put out a weekly email every Monday just talking about any health and wellness subject. If you want to get on that email list, you can check out my website, alexchrismartin.com. But anyways, happy Monday, team. When I was 16 and first started bodybuilding, I thought I needed to lift every single day. I had also gotten my first job working 40 hours a week, was in a relationship, and had a standard 8-hour days in high school. Needless to say, most days I was running on about 4 hours of sleep and a gram or two of caffeine. I was legitimately having a gram or two of caffeine a day.
That's amazing.
So, yeah. So, quick side note. Every morning, I would wake up, have a coffee, have a pre-workout, I'd have a Monster at school. I was working at Starbucks, and I'd have a quad espresso. So, I mean, I've done the math, man.
Had a quad espresso?
Yeah, dude.
What?
I've done the math. It was legitimately a gram or two of caffeine a day. I think it took years off my life.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So, I thought the answer to my goals was more. 14 hours lifting in the gym a week. I was lifting 7 days a week, twice a day.
Damn.
Or excuse me, 2 hours a day. More work, less relaxation, more effort, less rest. This extremely inhibited my progress. If anything, I regressed. It all boils down to, I thought I could out-awesome my body. I lived in a state of stress, and even worse, I thought I was doing the right things. No matter who you are, you can't out-awesome recovery. You can't ignore stress forever. You don't get a golden medal for minimal sleep. That's like, that whole hashtag team no sleep thing, man, that's always bugged me. That's always driven me nuts.
It never bugged me until you pointed it out to me.
Yeah, because I get it. I get the thought process, like, sacrificing your sleep to get done what you need to get done, which is fair, man. But I just don't agree with living off of 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. And I know there's individuals out there that can do it and choose to do it, and whatever.
I think you can do it for a couple days at a time, but then you'll need to recompensate for it.
Yeah, I agree. And so it's just, I don't know, man. You can only push your body so much, and to me, there's just not a whole lot that's worth sacrificing your health, man. There's not a whole lot. No matter who you are, you can't out-awesome recovery. You can't ignore stress forever. You don't get a gold medal for minimal sleep. I already said that. Oh, this is a good part. I'll never forget a Stan Efferding quote that I read. You know who Stan Efferding is?
Yeah.
The rhino, the vertical
rhino.
dag.
The white rhino?
Yeah. If you're losing sleep for a cardio session, you're stepping over $100 bills for pennies.
Yes.
Which, like, man, how many bodybuilding competitors do you know that get up at 4 in the morning just so they can do their fucking 2 or 3 sessions of cardio?
A lot, right?
Yeah,
Most,
man.
right?
It's like it's the norm. It's the standard. It's crazy to me. We have to approach our health and wellness from a state of nourishment and care. We have to prioritize recovery processes over additional stress. When committing to an exercise program or diet approach, keep that in mind. If you're someone who works 90 hours a week, you can't expect to lift 6 days a week. If you're someone with 3 kids under the age of 5, you can't expect 8 hours of sleep a night, and that's okay. There's more important things in life than abs sometimes, and that's okay. Realistically, acknowledge your limitations and play around with them so recovery can be accounted for. Trying to out-awesome your body's needs will only inhibit progress. So, one of the biggest things that brought that on, that's always something I've thought about, man, but I'll never forget, I started, I've never been much of a program guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I pretty much was always just doing whatever. I was just kind of going in the gym. And so, of course, licking the tripod. And I'll never forget, I tried Matt Ogus's 753.
Okay, I remember him.
Yeah, when I was like, I don't know, 19, so maybe it's been like 4 years. But I grew pretty significantly, but the volume was literally like a fourth of what I was used to. And
so it was just really low.
Yeah, it
because
was
he did like almost powerlifting stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it was like 3 1 hour. It was like 3 1 hour workouts a week.
Oh,
but dude, I made so much progress, and
That's crazy.
I attribute it to the program because it's a well thought out and well designed program. Sure, but I think a bigger piece of it was like because I was doing amounts of work that I could recover from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so instead of constantly living in this state of stress, I was living in a state of stress recovery versus just stress.
Yeah, because it almost gets counterproductive. Not even almost. It does get counterproductive. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about your training, like physical training specifically, I will say stress and recovery is literally the building blocks or the foundation of where you build whatever you need to build. Mm-hmm. Like, that was my thought process before coming or deciding to become the strongest teen was, all right, I'm going to do the most stress that I can in the gym, and I would have these, just crazy 4-hour workout sessions. But my recovery game was like no other, man. I was eating a crazy amount, sleeping a crazy amount, so I would never get sore just because my body was always, relaxed and recovered. So
yeah.
And that's how I did what I did. But when it comes to life, that's super important too, man.
Yeah.
And I learned that from you also. Remember, like 2 months ago, maybe it was 2 months ago, when I was telling you that I was sleeping like, 4 hours, and pretty much doing what you were doing when you were 16.
Yeah.
And I tried it out for I think only a month, and I couldn't, like, my heart rate was high. Caffeine started doing the opposite effect. I was sore all day, every day. I couldn't concentrate on anything.
Yeah.
So, talking about counterproductivity, the hashtag no sleep thing is literally holding you back.
Yeah.
Or it can hold you back.
Yeah.
For me personally, it definitely does.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's interesting too is, like, I feel like the hashtag team no sleep and hashtag hardest worker in the room and all of that shit, I feel like that is almost always, it's always bodybuilders and powerlifters and, guys trying to be the best posting that. Which, like, to me, it's one thing if you're some, I guess, entrepreneur or you're a doctor or you're doing something where, like, your progress isn't literally determined by your sleep.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly.
Man, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you better sleep 8 or 9 hours a night, man. Like, yeah. And so, how many hours you think you were sleeping a night when you were up to, like, your strongest and your biggest?
Oh, dude, I would sleep a minimum of 10 hours every night.
That's crazy,
but,
man.
I would go to school, and before I would work out, I would take an hour nap before I work out. Go work out for 4 hours, go home, eat, take another hour nap, wake back up, do whatever I gotta do, and then I would make sure to get my 10 hours of sleep.
So you were spending half of your life asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, yeah.
I mean, that's 12 hours a day.
Probably more than half, man.
That's 12 hours a day.
Because a lot of the time, when I would go to sleep at night, I would get 12 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So that was literally my life, sleeping, eating, and working out.
You think you were depressed doing that?
No.
Really?
Because the powerlifting and all, the powerlifting, the eating, and then the going to sleep, it was all distractions from reality.
Oh,
they were all devices
so
of escaping.
Okay, so it was your drug, man. It was your getaway.
It was yeah, dude, like, that's why, like, up until I had my very first drink of alcohol when I was like 21 years old. And that was also the first time that I smoked weed.
That's pretty late in the game.
Exactly, because my escapism device was powerlifting, So, and if I was to drink or anything, my thought process was, oh, this is going to mess up my powerlifting session.
Yeah.
So, maybe I didn't have, a drug or an alcohol problem, but I did have an escapism problem when it came to powerlifting.
Yeah, it was your world, it was your realm.
Yeah, exactly. It may look good on the outside, but when you really step back and realize, like, how that obsession can, and this goes for anything, not just in my case, how that obsession can, like, obscure other parts of your life.
Yeah. So moral of the story is don't sleep 12 hours a night and don't sleep 4 hours a night. Fine.
Yeah, bro.
Get your fucking 8 hours, man.
Yeah, bro. Live your life, man.
Yeah.
Like, find out how to optimize your life. You know that it was a Monday email that we were talking about when I was talking to you about me being really stressed and, drinking a lot of caffeine. And it was tips on how to optimize your sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to share that?
Yeah. So I pretty much all I did was I shared Ben Greenfield's 10-3-2-1-0 method to sleep. Well, I say his method. I heard about it from him. I don't know if it's his method. Mm-hmm. But it's essentially the 10 is you don't drink any caffeine 10 hours prior to bedtime. Just because, dude, caffeine gets you wired, man. It turns on that sympathetic state. It ups your heart rate. Like, it zones you in, I think it's a great tool, but it's definitely something that, man,
you need to use smart.
Oh, yeah, it's a tool.
Exactly.
You can always overdo it, man. But that's the 10. The 3, I'm probably going to butcher this, man. I believe the 3, off the top of my head, I believe the 3 is not doing any work, business, emails, or anything like that 3 hours prior to bedtime. The 2 hours is not eating 2 hours prior to bedtime, so being sure the only thing you consume is water 2 hours prior to bed. The 1 is no looking at screens an hour prior to bedtime. and then the 0 is not pressing snooze when you wake up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that. I didn't remember the 0 one.
Which I think is a big piece too, man, because
It's so addicting.
how many times have you ever hit snooze and woken up honestly more refreshed than you did the first time?
Never.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Literally
it doesn't
never.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's just like, well, damn.
Yeah.
There goes 5 minutes that I just wasted.
You know what is a huge tool as far as discipline of getting up in the morning for me? Is the Sleep Cycle app. You ever heard of that?
Yes, I remember you. My problem with that is I have to have my fan on high, so it's
Really?
not able to track anything.
Can you put your fan in like a different part of the room?
I can't, dude.
Really? It's got to be.
It has to be. I don't know if it's because when I was 400 pounds, I would hear myself breathing, and I still had that mindset. But yeah, dude.
Okay, fair enough. But anyways, all that is that, gives you your wake up window, so it'll wake you up in your lightest sleep. I actually just started using it again, and I forgot how great of a tool it was. The reason I'd stopped using it was because my life just runs so scheduled,
So there was
So I
pretty
was
much
just
no
like,
point.
if I'm getting up at this time, I'm getting up at this time. But, when I give myself that window to work through, man, it's so much easier to pop out of bed.
Would you even set an alarm, like, in these states of, being very scheduled? Like, would you even need to set an alarm? Or would your body just be like, all right,
I'm
time to
pretty
wake
much,
up?
I was going to say, I usually beat my alarm by a couple minutes, but not every morning.
I got you, man.
It just depends.
Yeah. So, when going back to the sleep optimization,
Yeah.
the two things that I've like committed to, and that has drastically improved my recovery, was the no caffeine 10 hours. Well, I thought it was actually 11 hours before you go to sleep, but
Same
regardless,
difference. Some
yeah,
people say 12.
exactly. I only take caffeine, like at 8:30 in the morning, and then I'll usually go to sleep at like 10 or 11 at night. But I actually stopped taking pre-workout for my workouts.
Yeah. Fuck pre-workout, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it doesn't really help that much. Just as long as you're excited about training and
I think
you
it's-
actually like it, then you don't need it.
I think it's one thing to have, maybe like a non-stim for whatever, essential aminos or some beta-alanine or,
Yeah.
something like that. Well, I guess beta-alanine might be considered a stim, but yeah, man, I mean, like I was saying in the days where I was having a gram or two of caffeine a day, I mean, I was banging 2 scoops of C4, man, which was like the norm, I guess, but man,
Is that like
my face,
500 milligrams?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Probably it's probably about half a gram. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, I would leave my parents' place and like my face would be tingling before I even got in my Jeep.
Yeah.
Like to go to the gym. Yeah, I would immediately I was like, oh my god. But it's addicting, man.
It is,
Because then you're riding off energy that's not yours.
Ooh, I
Is
never
the
thought
way-
about it like that.
Is the way I view it. You're riding off energy that you've borrowed or that you've falsely created.
With you, does that energy, that energy that you're taking from these pre-workouts, does that degrade over time for you?
As in like sensitivity or
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, how fast does it for you?
Well, I think I don't know, it depends. So like these days I pretty much cap myself at 2, maybe 3 cups of coffee a day.
Mm-hmm.
I should be just doing 2, but of course I find some way to justify it in my head to do 3 sometimes. But yeah, man, and I think that's how I ended up having so much caffeine was because it was doing less and less for me. Because like literally my routine in the mornings was I would wake up and I'd have a cup of coffee and then I'd be at the gym within 45 minutes and then I'd have a pre-workout.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Damn, that's kind of like just stacking.
yeah,
Just
that's
stacking
literally
shit.
what it was. I was just stacking it left and right, and I worked at Starbucks, and it started with like a shot of espresso, and then by the end it was like a fucking quad, man.
So-
and I was drinking teas too,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't even think about how much caffeine were in those.
Isn't one espresso like 250 milligrams of caffeine?
No, I think it's closer to 100 or 150.
Oh, really? Okay.
But if
But
you
that's
go
still...
but if you go to Starbucks and you get like a regular size one, like a grande,
Uh-huh.
the 16 ounce, they'll put 2 shots in there. So
damn.
that's whatever, the 150, 200. So it adds up quick.
So yeah, you're taking like 300. That's pre-workout right there.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
scoop of pre-workout.
Yeah, it really is. So, yeah, I don't know, man. So I try to not do caffeine pre-workout anymore unless it's coffee.
Yeah.
Just because there's something about... I've always had this thing about relying on external things. It's the same reason I haven't lifted with a belt for like 3 or 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Or like, I use straps very rarely. The only time I use straps is if I'm seriously limited
Yeah.
by like
Your grip
my grip
or-
strength, right? Like I don't want my back to be limited by what my digits can do.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
to me, that's
Your digits.
your digits. Yeah, I don't even know if that's the proper term.
I don't know, but I like it.
But,
I'm gonna start calling them digits.
Yeah, but yeah. So, anyways, but it's like I don't want to rely on it, and it's not fucking good for you, man. So.
It's fun
Oh yeah,
No,
it's
we already
it's
said
a
that,
it's a
but-
blast. It's a drug. It's a ride, man. It's
Uh-huh.
like yeah.
though. My sponsor, Masscast.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year when I was peaking for the powerlifting meet that ended up being canceled, so they gave me this high stem pre-workout. It's called Schism, and then
Is it like their brand or whatever?
no, they barely have any stuff that's on like that's their brand. They mostly have a bunch of other.
They're like a third party.
Yeah, exactly. But I would take 2 scoops of that, which that's a gram right there. And it wasn't just caffeine. It was like all the stems that you can think of.
Yeah.
And then I had this CNS activator from that I won from like a deadlift competition a couple months
Like
earlier.
a nootropic type thing or what?
I'm assuming. I mean that. I don't really know exactly, but I mean that sounds right. Like it sounds like it would be classified as a nootropic, but I would take that, and then I would also take a Bang energy drink whenever I would, go for my max out days. That adrenaline, man, that is addicting.
Dude, it was the 0-calorie monsters for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I was prepping for my
monsters
first
are
show.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. Keep
No,
on.
you're good. No, you're good.
Monsters are
When I was
crazy.
when I was prepping for my first show, man, I was doing 1 or 2 a day. Like those, they create those drinks to be addicting, man.
Uh-huh.
That's
You crash hard on them.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And then you're like, oh, I'll just have another one.
Yeah.
That's the solution, right? Is
Oh.
to have is always more.
I feel like the monsters and rock stars, they peak really high, and they'll hold you there for like a couple hours. But
That valley's deep, man.
that valley's deep, man.
Yeah, and then that's the tricky thing with caffeine too, man. Is it's like, I guess it's like anything. The only way out is through. So it's like if you want to up your tolerance, or excuse me, if you want to reduce your tolerance, or if you just want to get off of it, you just kind of got to stop or wean your way off.
Mhm.
There's no pill or supplement to counteract. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like if you're doing half a gram a day and you only want to be doing 1/4 of a gram, well, you got to work your way down, and then you deal with whatever the headaches, the withdrawals that come with it.
Yeah.
So-
I noticed that. First off, you got to listen to your body.
Yeah.
I was ignoring that for a long time, but now it's usually about 1 week to where, a week in after sleeping, 7 to 8 hours and just drinking a bunch of coffee, where I'll have to stop drinking coffee for like 2 days and then just sleep one night for 10 hours. And then I'll be back to normal. It's almost
Yeah.
like a reset.
So when you say listen to your body, what kind of cues are you talking about?
Droopy eyes, feeling like you have to have some kind of stimulant in order to do something.
Yeah.
Maybe feeling tired before you usually go to bed.
Yeah.
Not being able to focus whenever you need to do work,
Yeah.
or like being agitated. Those are the things that I can think off the top of my head. But I don't think of those specifically. It's more just like a feel
Yeah.
that I have. Like I can already feel right now that there's like some kind of droopiness in my eye, which I'm still alert and blah blah blah. But I know that either tonight or tomorrow night I'll have to sleep 10 hours and then I'll be back to normal.
You'll be good to go.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be able to
Interesting.
just reset that. And I'm sure that's
seem to be
different
pretty-
for everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say you seem to be pretty in tune if you kind of got that down to a science.
I had barely, because I realized that I wasn't listening to my body like 3 weeks ago. So I've actually been paying attention and giving my body exactly what it needs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is, it may seem like you're being easy on yourself, but at the same time, if you recover and you let your body reset, then you're going to be able to, hammer harder. So
It's funny you say that with like the being easier on yourself, and because sometimes I think to myself when I talk about sleep and I try to be adamant about getting my 8 hours, if I'm just I'm going to use the term being a bitch, but like of course that's not what I mean, but you know what I mean. You're
Yeah.
being easy on yourself, and you almost look at it as a lack of discipline, which Which at that point, it's almost like it just circles back, man. We always think harder is better, and I'm not sure if that's just the culture you and I are used to with lifting and just gym and bodybuilding and powerlifting
and being men.
Yeah, for sure. And it's always just like harder's better, harder's better, harder's better. But that's not the answer, man. Better is better. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't understand the thought process. It's like. But that's to everything. That's not just like working out. Like that's in your finances too.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, sure, you could find a job where you make $10 an hour and be chill with that and you know, do that forever. It's like, or you could go learn a skill and make $20 an hour.
Even if it's going to be, you know, it's not going to pick off at first.
Yeah.
You know, down the road.
Yeah.
Got to start thinking long term.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you have to put things in perspective like that. You have to have your efficiency before your hammer, which, you know, then it's kind of it can turn into a paralysis by analysis thing. It's like, well, if I'm not being as efficient as I can be, why would I even drop the hammer and work? You know,
Yeah.
well, it's like, well, then you're splitting hairs. Then you're looking for excuses. So it's like it's walking this fine line of get your efficiency and then drop the hammer, but don't be afraid to just drop the hammer.
Yeah, and make sure that you know what you're dropping the hammer on. You know.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you're focused on one thing.
Yeah.
Not on, you know, the big picture.
Right.
Just break it down into small pieces. By the way, I know a lot of this, like you just said, is focused around training.
Yeah.
That's just our language. Probably like 90% of this, would you say, can be transferred to literally like every part of your life?
Yeah, well, and that's like the finances example I gave, right?
Exactly.
Like it's okay, well, let's say I make $10 an hour and I want to make $20 an hour, so I go learn a skill so I can make $20 an hour. It's like, let's say I do 10 sets on bench press because I want a big chest. Well, if I get better at the execution and I up my training intensity, maybe I can do 5 sets and get the same result.
Exactly.
It's the same idea, man. It's the same idea. It's just efficiency's got to come first.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know?
So I got this that I wanted to cover,
Sure.
which I don't know if you would want to do it right now
Let's do it.
because it's a big topic.
Let's do it.
All right. So
I don't know what it is.
Where is it at? Big change versus small change. So a lot of the people that you train and a lot of the people in our mindset are looking for a big change in their life. But what I'm curious about is what's better, big changes or small changes over time to create a big change? I think I know your
body
answer.
transformations?
In everything, dude. You know, like every part of life. But we can narrow it down and talk about.
Okay.
Know,
Well,
one
let's talk body transformations and health and
Okay.
wellness, since that's kind of my space to speak on. I don't think there are any big changes, man, because big changes don't last. So like, I mean, really, man, put it into perspective. So it's like, let's say you get average Joe to come to you and want to train with you, and they're 35, 30 pounds overweight, normal blood markers, normal health markers, just wants to lose a couple pounds and look better, works 50 hours a week at some office job, has a wife and kids, goes out to drink on the weekends, you know, just normal,
Just reality.
standard
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, so like if you go and tell that guy, like, all right, man, we're going to lift 6 days a week, push-pull legs twice, squat deadlift 4 times a week, bench press twice a week, overhead press twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Like if you try to take the, I don't think there's a diving head first for most people.
I don't think
right.
so either.
So to me, where most people start is it's like, let's say someone comes to me and they're like, I want to train 2 times a week. It's like, all right, we're going to resistance train twice a week. You're going to keep a food journal and you're going to walk X amount of steps a day. That's it.
Yeah, literally.
Once you master that, we move on. So I think that's true with everything, and that's kind of circles back to atomic habits, like we were talking about. Like over time, those small things create big things. So let's say you nail your lifting twice a week and your 10,000 steps a day and your food journal. Okay, now we give you a calorie maximum. We make it 10,000 steps a day plus 2 dedicated cardio sessions, and you lift a day on your own.
So it's almost like you're just adding.
It's
into
baby
the
steps,
pot.
man. Yeah,
That's all it is.
It's baby steps, yeah. And of course, you eventually hit a point where it's like, you can't just keep slapping shit on. You got to find different ways to improve the intensity or to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People only have.
make it more efficient.
Yeah, but I think that's true with everything. Like, we're starting a podcast. So we got a camera and we're sitting outside, but then we want to get some microphones, and then maybe eventually we want to have more of an outline and a plan, and then maybe eventually we want to have a guest, and then, you know what I mean?
It doesn't have to start off with the thousands of dollars worth of equipment inside of a nice studio or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I think, truthfully, with everything. And so the biggest, so I don't want to say there's no such thing as big change, because of course you could go move across the country and that's a big change.
Yeah.
But like, I think any meaningful change comes from repetition of small change and additional small change.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think that is the most realistic way to focus on making a change, is to do those small changes that you can repeat, and actually track the progress of.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about big changes, this is what I've noticed, at least in my life. Big changes can only they can't be created artificially. They can't, like, you can't just decide to make a huge change, like out of nowhere with no kind of influence on that decision.
Give me some context.
So I think that big change is only possible if you have some kind of big change that has already occurred in your life that you're not in
That you're
control
just
of.
adjusting to.
Exactly. Like it doesn't come with you creating some kind of big change. And if it does, I think that like 90% of the time, if not all the time, it's unstable.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll just come crashing down.
Right. So let's create some parameters. So we're talking about creating change that, like, towards betterment, right? Accepting responsibility, like moving towards things you want to accomplish, right?
Yeah,
change
in general,
Change that's in your change that you want to happen and create, right? Like, obviously, if you have a death in the family, you move across the country, or, you know, coronavirus happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that are going to be out of your control. But if you're talking about, like, building a business, losing 20 pounds,
then that's when it comes
stronger.
to the very small pieces. Like, you got to break down the big change into the small pieces.
Yep.
But I guess it is very important to differentiate which one are you trying to do, you know? And if you are trying to do the big change without those small steps, you have to actually ask yourself, even if it's hard, like, is this actually sustainable?
Yeah.
Because every time that I've tried to make one of those big changes artificially,
crashes.
without thinking about those, you know, very small steps, a lot of times it just becomes too big to grasp, and then, you know, anxiety starts creeping in, and then problems start creeping in that you didn't account for.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the progress you're not seeing because you're looking like this instead of looking at one thing, you know, at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about with one of my clients yesterday. You know, right now she has a 10,000 step minimum, but a lot of days she's doing whatever 15 or 20,000, because that's her way of you know, just doing a little.
Was
extra.
that the one that you were saying was walking with? I believe it was her son, and they walked really far away, and they're like, "All right, Alex, now we got to walk all the way back."
No, that's Janet and Travis. This
Oh,
is a
okay.
different one. But where I was going with this is she was saying she's been putting all her steps into a spreadsheet, because she wants to look back whenever she gets to her goal weight and be like, it took me this many steps.
Whoa, that's really cool.
Right, and I think so, because who knows what that number's going to be. You know, if she's doing 10,000 a day and it takes her half a year to get to her goal, call it 200,000 steps, right?
Yeah.
And that's however many miles, however, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? So.
And you're sitting there and actually looking at that number in reality. It's not some kind of, you know, abstract goal or anything. It's a goal that you can track, that's very simple, and something that you can realistically achieve every day.
Yeah.
So it becomes motivating.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's like let's say you want to have $100,000 in your savings account, man. Like, what do you expect to just deposit it one day? No, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna deposit a couple $100 here and there, and over time, eventually, you're there. You know, you can't just do everything at once, which would be nice, but
Would be nice.
you try to do everything at once, and you either become demotivated, uninterested, or it just becomes
Unhealthy.
unfathomable, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's unhealthy.
You start taking away a lot of other parts of your life.
Yeah.
unnecessarily
Yeah.
to achieve, and then that just creates unbalance and
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, talking about creating unbalance and taking away from other parts of your life, like going back to what we started with, Joe Blow, who's whatever, 35 and got a wife and kids. If I tell him to lift 6 days a week and he's already working 50 hours a week,
that's ridiculous.
when's he getting time with his kids?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? When's he getting time to sleep? When's he
Yeah.
getting time with his wife?
Uh-huh.
You know? So it's like you gotta, you make your baby steps and then you make more and more change from there. People, oh man, I'm gonna butcher whoever said this. I think it was Andy.
Don't do it.
I think it was Andy Frisella who said this, but
Okay.
it was like people underestimate what they can do, or people overestimate what they can do in 2 days, but they underestimate what they can do in 2 years.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's just us not thinking about the future and just thinking about the moment. Because
Yeah.
it's so easy.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
convenient.
just a delayed gratification thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I don't want to wait to lose 20 pounds, so I'll lift 7 days a week and do cardio twice a day, and I'll do it in a week. Like, okay, good luck, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, unless you got 300 pounds to lose, like that's probably not happening.
I never believed in delayed gratification until recently, and that was part of talking to you, part of reading a couple other books, but it's made my life so much more manageable, dude,
What do you mean?
and like so much more optimistic. So instead of going back to trying to make these big changes in my life, I now break it down into very small changes and stuff that I can track
Yeah.
in my book, just physical goals that I can track, and that helps with me achieving delayed gratification, because instead of focusing specifically on that big thing that I want, I can focus on those small tasks and to just get my mind off of wanting things here and now, and it just creates progress.
Right. Right.
So that was probably all over the place.
No,
that
I followed
statement,
you.
but
No, I followed you. Yeah, it's so easy to. It's so easy to paralysis by analysis everything. It's so
paralysis
easy to
by
be,
analysis. I like that.
It's so easy to be like, oh, how am I ever going to do this? This is too hard. If you want to lose, I know I keep going back to losing weight, but it's the simplest example. But it's like if you want to lose 100 pounds, like, okay, 2 pounds a week, do it in a year.
See, even right now, I still have a problem with damn, that's too long.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and there's different levels to that, right? Like maybe you make it 5 a week or something like that, or you try a little harder. But I'm just saying, like, everything doesn't need to be balls to the wall. And when you try to make everything balls to the wall, that's how you fail, I think.
Yeah.
I
think so
or
too.
Maybe not how you fail, but how you don't sustain.
Yeah.
That's why, to me, I don't know what the statistic is, man, but it's something like 80% of people that lose a significant amount of weight gain it back.
That
And
scares
it's like,
me, dude.
yeah, it's like, well, yeah, dude, because everybody's doing fucking these crash diets that are non-sustainable and like,
Keto.
Yeah,
I
well,
loved it though.
man.
For when I was fat.
I was gonna say I don't have the knowledge to speak on keto specifically, but what I'll say, man, is that it's like, how many people is it sustainable to cut out an entire macronutrient for their entire life?
I think that's stupid for your entire life.
Yeah, I don't think it's very sustainable.
You
man.
can't. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I guess that's just my
And then
opinion
once you
on that.
do reintroduce those carbs, those cravings,
yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah,
they're gonna shove it down your throat.
I was gonna
man.
say, man, it's such a weird game to play.
I actually had to put myself in check a couple days ago, and I had to write it down in my notebook. No more simple sugars, and no more fatty foods, because it was like a two week span, or maybe even a 3 week span, where I was just eating everything, dude. Like all the sweets that I could find, and I would always justify it. I would make burgers. Whenever there was pizza ordered, I would eat the
You're
pizza.
like, oh, I got a heavy lifting day tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I do that same shit, man.
Yeah, but those cravings, man.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Hey, guess what?
What?
So, what's your thoughts about this? I'm thinking about maintaining 250 up until around like June, and then because I don't work the summertime in the bus job, I'm thinking about losing like 40 pounds
Really?
during that time.
So you want to get down to like almost 2 bills?
I want to get down to almost 2 bills, bro. Like
Wow,
210.
man. Wow.
What you think about that?
I mean, you'd straight up have abs then, yeah? You'd have like a
I think
6-pack
so,
at
bro.
210,
Wouldn't
probably.
that be crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be huge at 210, man. Yeah. I mean, why did you pick 40 pounds? Where'd you come up with that number?
I don't know.
Pull it out of your ass, right? Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would say, yeah, take a dieting phase and maybe create like an external goal like that. But, I don't know, man. You could. You'd be shredded. That's for sure.
Curious.
I think you should make a bodybuilding endeavor.
What you mean? I think I have to.
You have to.
I'm curious, like to tighten up my skin.
Oh, yeah?
Again, I don't have loose skin at the moment, but I feel like if I was to drop a lot of weight, and that was also my thought process of maintaining 250 up until then.
Just give the
but-
skin a chance to catch up.
Yeah, man.
Is it like, do you have a significant amount of loose skin right now, or I mean,
No,
'cause as
the
far
only
as I was
place-
gonna say, what I can tell, you're pretty tight.
The only place that I have like loose skin right now is just right
kind
here.
of on the tricep, yeah.
But like you would have to pull it down.
Yeah, you
you
wouldn't
know,
even notice. Yeah.
Which I don't care at all.
Yeah.
The place that I'm scared of having loose skin is the bottom of my belly.
Your belly, yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's because gaining 200 pounds in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
The part that got the biggest was my belly.
Yeah, it extended, man.
So, and I noticed that my belly, it goes like this and then it like drops off. And I thought that it was just fat. It's actually like hard at the bottom of my belly.
Like abs.
No, like there's still fat around it, but I thought like that whole part was fat. But it's actually like hard under probably like an inch of fat.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like that's weird.
Why?
Like, what if I do shred the fat, and then just that bottom part is just, distended?
I don't know, man.
I wonder if it
really
will
know.
be, man.
It's worth a shot. I mean, I would say do it. Why not? It's summertime too, so that's the funnest time to be lean. It's the
Yeah.
easiest time to get lean too, I think, as far as just having sunshine and being active.
Sunshine.
Yeah, I think that's a huge piece of it. You should, dude.
I'm gonna do different type of workouts too.
What are you gonna do?
I'll probably in the summer. I'll probably will cancel my gym membership again.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna start running. I haven't been able to do the morning and night walks every day, so I'm gonna be doing that every day.
Yeah.
And then just cycling.
Well, you were just talking about doing a bodybuilding endeavor, and now you're talking about canceling a gym membership.
I know. I'm talking about like, how long would a bodybuilding endeavor even take?
I guess it just depends, man. Like, I don't know.
I want to get small, dude.
You want to get small?
I want to be small, man.
Jeez, man. I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
I know, dude. I don't want to be big anymore. I hate it.
Really? Why?
I do. It's inconvenient. I was really big, for 5 years now. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
It's stupid, Alex.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's so stupid.
it's definitely stupid to be 400 pounds, no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's stupid to be 250.
I don't think it's that stupid.
What I'll say is, for me, and my, she's probably chewing a stick or something.
Yeah.
In my history with bodybuilding, like, the grass is always greener, man. When I'm like a week out from show and just, as lean as I'm gonna get, all I want is to eat and be bigger and
Yeah.
be bulking again. And then when I'm, peak off-season weight and I'm real hefty boy, all I want is to be shredded.
Hefty.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it's just a grass is greener. So definitely go for it, man. Why not? I think, I also don't think unfortunately, I don't think you'll ever be small, man.
Yeah.
I really don't think anyone will ever look at you and think that's a small human being.
Well, okay. I guess when I say small, I mean
Relatively.
I just want to get rid
Sure.
of. I just want to get rid of the fat. I want to be able to. I don't know if I told you this. I want to do marathons, dude.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, dude.
Why do you want to do marathons? Just because they're hard?
Yeah, after hearing David Goggins' story
Yeah.
about like him going through all the pain, and like he talks about it in detail. Like, so the first I don't know if it was a marathon, but it was a 100-mile 24-hour race. That was the first 100-mile race that he did. He didn't train for it at all, and he signed up for it 3 days before. Yeah, and the night before he did a powerlifting leg session.
Wow.
But so he ran it, and at the 50-mile mark, you know, he started feeling like crap, and then at the 70-mile mark, I believe it was the 70-mile mark, he was like literally shitting himself. His feet were like pretty much glued to his shoes by blood and blisters. Yeah, but he finished the race, and he was saying that at the end, they had to put him in his bathtub, and you know, he was shitting himself. He was pissing out bile, so like black piss.
Wow.
Yeah, his feet were all messed up.
And that's what you want to do.
Well, no, I just find it like,
You want a challenge like that.
I want a challenge. I don't know.
You want a challenge like that.
It's all these
Which I
physical
respect.
challenges. It's
Yeah.
all these physical and mental challenges that
Yeah.
seem so attractive to me.
Yeah. Huh.
That's weird. I feel like I take inspiration from people. I wonder if that's because I'm trying to find, like, I've always been trying to find, like, I guess, the meaning in my life. And I wonder if that's a part of it, you know? Like,
As in, like, through the challenge or what?
yeah, because I see, like, George Lehman.
George.
Yeah, he wanted to be
I
the
know
strongest teen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe I can find something through this journey. And so I took on that journey. And then David Goggins, hearing, you know, him losing the 100 pounds in 3 months. And so that was my inspiration from losing the 100 pounds in the less than 3 months was, you know, let me do this, see if I can find something from it. So I guess it's just me exploring.
I think it's a very specific personality type, though. I don't think most individuals lose that much weight that quickly and keep it off. You know? And that's kind of like we were talking about, you know, we were just talking about losing slowly and methodically and not needing to rush it.
How can you let it come back on, though, you know, after making that decision?
Because for most people, man, it's not lifestyle applicable. So, what kind of responsibilities did you have when you were losing that 100 pounds?
0.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
You know,
Because the COVID happened, so, you know, I was still getting paid, but I didn't have to work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and not to discredit what you did. Of course, that's still incredible. But I'm just saying.
No,
like,
yeah.
I think that's a big reason why. Number one, your personality, but number two, the circumstances at the time. So I don't think most people can or should do that.
I think that most people don't create the circumstances for them to achieve what they want to achieve. Like, always in my life, if I want to do something, I'll change my environment so I can achieve whatever that is. So, like, if I want to, you know, for my powerlifting stuff, if, you know, I was working a job or whatever, and, you know, I needed something that the job was preventing me from having with powerlifting, then bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I feel like just a lot of people don't even just have the luxury to be able to make that decision.
To be willing to sacrifice so much.
Yeah, not even willing, but again, like having the luxury, like, you
The
know,
ability
having
to-
a family,
Yeah.
like they can't just,
The
you know, get up and
responsibility.
just leave their job.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm very fortunate that I was going to go off into saying that those people don't have like the same kind of mindset or, you know, motivation, but at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, it's just reality, you know, like sometimes people just don't have the luxury
Yeah.
of being able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, everything's always easier said than done, but at the same time, you can always make sacrifices, man. I mean, you can always sacrifice free time. You can always sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Optimize.
if
Yeah.
you know, who am I to decide someone's value hierarchy, right? So if I say I don't think a lot's worth sacrificing your health and your sleep, some people might think opposite, and that's fine. You
Mhm.
know, if it's
If working for you.
Yeah, if that's the thought process and that's the way you want to go for it, more power to you. But sacrifices definitely need to be made to get to some, you know, some goal worth having. I
Mhm.
think.
Sacrifices are some kind of like optimization.
Yeah.
What's up, Cora?
I agree.
You so cute.
What up, Cora?
Morty. You ain't biting me anymore?
Nah, he's chilling. Is this ball out here?
You're so cute.
What's up, Bubba? What's up, big lad?
These eyes.
Yeah.
Look at Morty. Morty will try to earlier Morty was like biting my watch and she was like trying to take it off.
Yeah, or Sil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Sil, and then she would like grab my arm. But it's funny, like she was literally trying to bite it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. She's always just trying to play. They all just like wrestle and they kick the crap out of each other. They're so funny to watch, and Brandon and I always talk about that's like one of our favorite things is just watching them interact with each other and play and run and. Oh no. What is it? What do you hear? I don't know what that is. That sounds like a UPS maybe. I don't know.
I saw that there were a bunch of trash cans out. So is it like?
We signing off?
I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. Do you want to sign off?
Yeah, this seems like a good time.
All right.
Dogs are all over the place.
Here, let me sit down. What's up?
You can just pick her up.
Get your
Yeah,
butt
just scoop her ass up. She's like, wait.
She's like, come on, mate.
No.
Why you do that to me?
Big girl.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't have my watch.
I was gonna say, just give her a no, man.
You can't have my watch. No, it's fine, man.
Yeah.
Get off of here. Get off of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
All right, guys. So this is the Cave Dwellers podcast. You want to plug your stuff, your accounts and stuff?
Yeah. Pretty much all of my social media is Alex Chris Martin. You catch me on Instagram. I post on Facebook a little bit, which is Alex Chris Martin Fitness. You can go to my website, alexchrismartin.com, to find out about personal training, my Monday emails, or my online coaching.
So you can find me on Instagram at Toro_strong. That's my training account. And then if y'all just want to see like creativity and stuff like that, you can follow my Cholito Saldana Instagram account. And then yeah, if y'all need like a website or anything, y'all hit me up also. Logo, I got y'all. So that's it.
All right.
For the Cave Dwellers podcast.
Thank y'all for
episode
listening.
2.
Yeah. In the books.
In the books. All right, we good, baby.
Good.